Hi all, it's Teresa in Gemma's house. Well, this week I've been working on a project for my front door. And even though you might not need something like this for your front door, you might be able to use this idea as kind of like a jumping off point for different applications in your own home. So let me show you what I'm doing. So I have this hallway going to my front door, and in the evenings it really bugged me to see the front door. It just didn't feel very private or secure. So I hung this curtain that I had, and I had to extend the length of it so it hung the full height of the walls. In the evenings I shut it and it feels more secure and private. I like it much better now. So I was going through my many curtains because I'm getting ready for a garage sale, and I have way too many curtain panels still. But I came across these grommet top curtains that I had hung in front of the front door in one of my previous homes. And I did that because the front door was old and it was drafty and cold in the winter, and it worked really nice for that purpose. So this hem is a 3-inch hem, and I don't want to bring this hem down because I probably wouldn't be able to get rid of a dirt mark that runs along the bottom of it, and there were some other dirt marks on the hem too. So I'll leave this hem in. And I came across this scrap piece of fabric that I had used for another project, and I really like it. They're kind of old maps of the world. And the colors look really nice with both of the wall colors I have in this hallway. So I'm just measuring to see how much I have to extend these curtains so that they're the full 9-foot height of the walls. So first I have to measure the length of this fabric to see if I have enough fabric to lengthen those curtains and also to cover that 3-inch hem too. And also the width, I have to see if I have enough to extend across the width of each of those curtain panels. Luckily, the measurements worked out fine, and I'm happy because I really do like this fabric. So I did the cuts, and now I'm just laying out the different pieces to make sure that the adjoining pieces work nicely with this pattern. And after getting that done, I'm ready to sew them together using French seams. So French seams are really nice in that on both sides of the fabric, the seam will be completely finished. So I put the first 2 adjoining pieces together, lined them up, and I'll be sewing a seam right here. So instead of having the right sides of the fabric together, you put the wrong sides of the fabric together and you sew the first seam. So for this first seam, I'm using a scant 1/4 inch seam. That's a seam that's a little less than a 1/4 inch. And I'm just making sure that the pieces of fabric are totally lined up on this seam. Then I take it over to my ironing table, and from the front, iron that seam completely flat, and I use a hot steam iron for this. And then I turn it over to the other side and also iron it flat. So remember, on the right side of the fabric now, the seam has a raw edge. So you just fold the fabric right sides together then, right along that seam, and iron it flat. Then you sew the seam again with the right sides of the fabric together, and this time I'm using a 1/4 inch seam so that it completely covers the raw edge of the first seam that I sewed. And there's the French seam, nicely finished on both sides. And after that I iron it again, front and back. And this is optional, but I like to top stitch seams when I'm making curtains and pillows and things like that. So I'm top stitching this, and then I'm going to finish all the other sections that will finish off the bottom of the curtains. So now that these are finished, I just have to sew these to the bottoms of the curtain panels. And I just start by centering this fabric on the bottom of each curtain panel. And since I want to completely cover this 3-inch hem, I position the fabric 2 3/4 up from the bottom and just pin that all the way across. I'll be using a 1/4-inch seam, so that seam line will be pretty much just right above the 3-inch hem. So this is getting pretty close to finished, and I'm just going to take it to my ironing table and iron everything flat, and then I'm going to top stitch just about a 1/16 of an inch right alongside my seam line of this decorative fabric. And on the back, I'm going to also top stitch that original 3-inch hem of the curtain panel. So everything hangs nice and flat after I've ironed everything flat too. For these side seams, I just turned the fabric under a few times and ironed it, and I'm top stitching it to make a nice sturdy edge. I hung the curtain so I could get an estimate of how much I need to hem this. And since the shower curtain rod that these are hanging on is higher than my other curtain rods in the rest of the house, I'll hem these so the drapes are about 1 inch from the floor, so I can use these in my bedrooms too, because I really like the way they're looking. And so now they're finished, and I am happy with them. And you can use these in other applications, like if you have a drafty front door, like I used them in a previous house. Or if you have a front door that has a lot of windows in it or side lights, these would provide nice privacy. Or in a roommate situation, it would create kind of like a soft wall in between different living spaces. And the back of the curtain is pretty nicely finished, even though I usually will not be seeing the back of the curtain. I'm happy with the sense of security and privacy that this curtain provides now in my hallway. So I hope this video gave you some ideas to use in your own home. And if you like this video, can I ask you to please give it a thumbs up? That really helps my YouTube channel to grow by reaching more viewers, so thanks for doing that. And can I also ask you to check my main Gemma's House channel page, because I do so many other types of projects, and if you click on the videos tab, you can scroll through the videos and see if there are other videos you'd be interested in watching as well. So thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate the viewer support. Bye-bye.